Well, this is my 08 900 Custom Cowie that I've spent most of the last year and early part of this year working on. It's pretty much everything I wanted in a motorcycle. It was laid down on both sides, had some pretty extensive damage, and it was stolen and recovered. And man, it's dirty. I need to wash it. But anyway, been real happy with this machine. It performs beautifully. Maybe not quite as much power. I'd like a little bit more, but been really happy with it. So, kind of just a little idea of, to kind of give you a little bit of an idea of what I've done. As you can see, it's not stock anymore by any means. So, anyhow, I'm going to try to wait out these cars for a bit, see if I can hit this road and hit these corners a little bit more aggressively without being too irresponsible. So anyway, this is Corey. I hear cars coming up around the corner, so I'm going to haul. Sorry, too many cars. Some images of this bike I built. It's 2008 Kawasaki Vulcan 900 Custom. And from front to back, the only original parts on this bike is probably the frame set, the motor, and the belt drive. I went through everything last year. I utilize this bike so much, to commute to work and save on fuel expenses, but give me extra cash to pay for upgrades on this. So I've loved it. It's been a fantastic machine. I'm up near the head of Big Cottonwood Canyon, pretty close to Guardsman Pass. A lot of traffic today. It's a Sunday. Everybody's trying to get out of the smoke-filled valley that's like 90 degrees right now. Up here, it's a pleasant 70 degrees. So anyway, I've gone through this bike and pretty much changed everything out because of I've had kind of a vision of Eleanor from Gone in 60 Seconds with Nicolas Cage. I love that car. I love the way it looks, how it looks like it's going to shred anything in its path. And so I kind of looked at this Vulcan and decided that it can do the same thing. I mean, with aftermarket parts that are available, I found that it's possible to achieve that look. So as you can see, the front end, you know, it's got a low and mean Reaper fender on it that I painted the same color as Eleanor, as well as the gas tank and the rear fender. ACHD stealth headlight on a headwinds bracket, stainless steel lines all the way down from the control units down underneath the tank. Mapen forward controls, Cobra exhaust, Mimic rear wheel. It's an 18 by 5.5. It sports a Metzler 250/18 chromed stock wheel that I ended up ordering after the fact because my original wheel was tacoed too badly to do anything with because of a wreck or hitting a curb or whatever. So that front wheel is off another eBay setup. I installed it on the bike on the lift, turned it and found it true. And now I've got a Pirelli on the front end, +1 in size. It fills that gap up in that fender just great. So another thing, you know, you have the low and mean chin spoiler with the diamond shaped grill behind it. And I'd rather have that look like a different finish per se. The flat black doesn't bother me. I did it myself. But the inserts, I think, could be changed out to look better. Okay, so you have Sumo Wax triple trees on her. As you can see, that it kicks that front tire out, and I rebuilt the forks completely. New dampers, seals, bushings, everything, with fresh fork oil and progressive springs with the spacers cut to stock height because the triple trees basically kick that front end out to lower the bike, you know, which has been lowered with a Barron's kit in the back end about 2 inches. So basically, you know, it's been raked out. Everything's been, you know, changed a little bit on the geometry, but I found this bike performs so nice. It's awesome. I love it. Side mount license plate. Okay, a buddy of mine had a bunch of stuff left over from his bobber build on his Classic, which is an 07 900. So I've got, you know, his components on there. As you can see, the belt guard, these covers here, which cover the rear struts, are from his bike. Mine were wasted. Smoked rear end. Now, what you can't see is here. Okay, that is an LED light cluster from Low and Mean, which is actually really cool because you have really bright tail lights, and then your turns are red, very bright. So it gives other people out there driving around you a better visual cue about what you're to do. Okay, to kind of give you an example, let's fire it up. Okay, that's the left turn signal. Okay, and right now it's about 1:30 Mountain Standard Time. It's about as bright as it's going to get, maybe except for noon. I'm going to switch it over to the left turn or the right turn signal, and there you go. So I've retained the stock tail light assembly, but I've put a smoked lens that you can see and an LED cluster to kind of match up everything else. So another thing I did on this bike that I'm kind of proud of is that, if you can see it, it's Low and Mean lets you upload your own image to their website, and they can make a custom Speedo faceplate, which is what I've done. So that's there, and I think it blends in pretty well with the bike. Okay, the rear, as you can see, is the Sumo X wheel and pulley assembly. Okay, and with the Sumo X relocation bracket for the rear caliper, and some other bling that I've added from various sites that I've, found accessories for this bike for. But if you look at it, you got the stock wheel up front. Okay, the rear wheel is stock is a solid chunk of aluminum that looks pretty cool, but in reality, I went with the Sumo X Mimic setup because if you look at that pulley, if you can see her, and the rear wheel, it's just gorgeous. Now I had the stock front wheel chromed as mentioned from another setup from a different bike, and I ordered the chrome setup for the rear Mimic to match and balance everything else. Okay, so I think that flows pretty well. Now on that you can see the Kuryakyn Pro R charger that I've installed. Okay, and you've got the Pro R charger, a Cobra FI 2000R, the automated version of that particular computer, and the exhaust. So the big three have been done on this thing. Okay, and you're looking to Saddlemen solo seat. Okay, and I'll reiterate once more that the paint on the bike, as you can see, is the exact same color code, DuPont 44490, for the color of Eleanor and Gone in 60 Seconds. Okay, I've seen motorcycles and Cobras, I've seen other Mustangs, all painted this color, and it's my favorite. Lots and lots of metal flake in there. It does have a tendency to sort of seem to change color under different atmospheric conditions or lighting conditions, so that's kind of cool too. So anyhow, this is the bike. It's been changed out. I mean, most of the components on this thing are completely non-stock, or they were from a different machine, and to this day it performs beautifully. I'd like to have a little bit more power out of my 9, but the handling of this machine, I'm able to do things that I never